Hello folks, I know you all might be very anxious, at the same time very excited about your MBA interviews that are around the corner. So here is a little help from my side. Few domains like operations, strategy, economics, finance and all these 9 listed here. Basics of these domains might be asked in your interviews. So all the serious aspirants out there, it is like a prerequisite for you to be well versed with these topics before appearing for your interviews. If I would have made a single video for all these topics, it would have become very long. So I have segregated this video into 9 parts, and in each part I will be discussing about one of these domains. And in today's video I will be discussing about basics of economics. So economics can be broadly classified into macroeconomics and microeconomics. Microeconomics deals with the supply and demand of a single individual firm, while macroeconomics deals with the supply and demand of an industry. There are certain laws which might be also asked in your interviews, like law of supply and law of demand. Law of supply implies that supply is directly proportional to price when other constraints like preference, taste of consumers, their income, price of substitutes are remained constant. While law of demand states that demand is inversely proportional to the price of product when the constraints like income and the same constraint that were applied in the previous law are remain constant. All might have heard about the GDP, that is gross domestic product, and there is one more factor called as gross national product, GNP. GDP is the monetary value of all finished goods and services that are produced within the country borders in a given fiscal year. GNP is GDP plus the income generated by residents from overseas investments minus income earned by the overseas residents from our domestic economy. The government exerts its control over the nation's economy by using 2 policies, fiscal policy and monetary policy. Fiscal policy is the use of government expenditure and the revenue generated by taxation to influence the economic activities, while monetary policies are governed by the Reserve Bank of India. RBI attempts to stabilize the economy by controlling spending and interest rates. The monetary policy comprises of various policy rates and reserve ratio. Few policy rates are bank rate, repo rate, reverse repo rate. Reserve ratios are CRR, SLR. Bank rate is the rate at which RBI lends money to commercial banks and financial institutions for long-term purposes. Change in bank rate affects the customers as it influences the prime interest rate for personal loans. Repo rate is the rate at which RBI lends the money to commercial banks in the event of shortfall of funds. Reverse repo rate is the rate at which RBI borrows money from the commercial banks. Repo rate signifies the rate at which RBI absorbs the liquidity from banks. Basically, this tool is used by the RBI when there is too much money flow in the system. CRR is the minimum fraction of total deposits of the customer that bank has to hold as the reserve in the form of cash or in deposits with the Central Bank of India. SLR is the minimum fraction of deposits that commercial bank must hold as a reserve in the form of cash or gold or treasury bills. All might have heard about Google is having a monopoly in web browsing. So what is this monopoly? There are a few types of market: monopoly, oligopoly and perfect competition. Monopoly exists when an individual or an enterprise have enough control over the product. It determines the terms at which others can access that product. Monopoly occurs mainly when there are various entry barriers. Oligopoly is a market form in which few sellers are there whose products are either same or somewhat similar. Oligopoly, some firm has the large market share as compared to other ones, like telecom industry in India. So these companies can influence the price of the product. While in perfect competition, there are no enterprise or an individual which has that market power to control the price of any homogeneous product. Perfectly competitive market has many buyers and sellers, and in this market, firms can easily enter or exit the market. Then there are a few definitions which are also important, like
Inflation. Inflation is a rise in the general level of prices of goods and services in an economy over a period of time. Inflation also reflects erosion in the purchasing power of money. Usually, RBI desired level of inflation is 2 to 6%, above which it becomes hawkish to check inflation. While deflation is a decrease in the general price levels of goods and services, deflation occurs when the inflation rate falls below 0%. Deflation increases the real value of money. This allows one to buy more goods with the same amount of money over time. FDI and FFI. FDI, foreign direct investment, refers to the investment by foreign investors in project in the country. This type of investment is more involved with the management, technology transfer and other field expertise. While FFI refers to foreign institutional investors, these investors usually invest in country indirectly by purchasing stocks of company listed on the stock exchange. The FI money inflows or outflows are also called hot money flows. Exchange rate is the rate at which one currency will be exchanged for another, like dollar is converted to rupees. It is also regarded as the value of one's country currency in the relation to another currency.
if you want to explore more in economics, there are various YouTube channels that primarily teaches economics. You can visit those channels, and I'm sorry if at any point of time in the whole video I have missed the eye contact with the camera lens. This is my first video and I will try to improve my content in each and every video. If you found my video informative, please do like, share and subscribe.